Hey, hon, could you get a loaf of bread from the freezer? I didn't think to grab it. I also have potatoes on the stove. Smashed potatoes. Gonna be real tasty. I'm right here. Alright, next thing we gotta make is toast and eggs. So I'm doing potatoes first. It's like the last batch I made. Takes way longer to do this, but we gotta do it. 2 slices of bread going down. Dempster protein bread, 14 grams of protein per, I'm guessing 2 slices, let's see. 2 slices, 14 grams, 3 grams of fat, 2 fibers, 4 sugar, and then tons of vitamins, we'll take it. Dempster's is actually putting out one of the healthiest breads that I can find in Canada for an affordable price. I like sourdough bread, it's hard to find, I don't know why. I will start making my own bread right away. Just want to get some things in order, and then I'll be baking bran muffins, cookies, and bread in the house. So I'll take care of any snacks and treats we eat will be made homemade, healthy as possible, organic ingredients, low sugar, high fiber, low carb, and that's just the way it's going to be in this house from now on. I have a very high IQ. I don't need to be eating junk food ever again. No heavily processed stuff anymore. I also don't eat carcinogenic food. I don't have my AI on, but I can tell you that a lot of people that eat meat are eating carcinogens on a high level. So can you list me if meat is carcinogenic if you're frying it or deep frying it or anything like that, please? Cooking meat at high temperatures such as pan frying, deep frying, or grilling creates cancer-causing chemicals. So I love everybody that's like, oh, I'm so healthy. Go take a look around at the people that are littered with cancers and what they're eating, okay? High temperature reactions do not affect all meats equally, nor do they eliminate your ability to safely cook. The following guide breaks down how cooking methods, meat types, and reduction methods impact your cancer. So we have HCAs, formed when amino acids, sugars, and creatine react in muscle meats, beef, pork, any poultry, turkey, chicken, and fish at high temperatures. Pan frying and deep frying creates the perfect environment for heterocyclic amines, HCAs. The perfect environment for HCAs to form, particularly when the meat is cooked to a well done or charred state. So if you like charred meat, you'll probably end up with cancer. If you eat meat that's well done, same thing. Polycyclic or aromatic hydrocarbons, otherwise known as PAHs, formed primarily when fat from meat drips onto a heat source or open flame, causing smoke that clings to the food. So that's grilling. If you love barbecuing meat, you probably are going to get cancer. While more common in barbecuing or grilling, these can also form during high heat pan frying, right? So that's why I always tell you I'm cooking on the lowest setting. Look, I mean, some people are really stupid. I'm on the lowest setting right now on my oven. So this is not high heat. And also you don't see smoke and you don't see a bunch of other stuff. Pay attention, you'll learn. Processed meat group 1 carcinogen. If you like to eat bacon, ham, or sausages, or hot dogs, they are loaded with group 1 carcinogens, okay? Frying them adds both processing-related carcinogens and high-heat compounds. Red meat, group 2A, probably carcinogens, Red meats, beef, lamb, pork, are probably linked to cancers like colorectal cancer. While meat, so I love the people that say vegans and all this are unhealthy. You guys are complete shites. White meat and fish, unprocessed poultry and fish, are generally not linked to cancer risk on their own, though frying them at high temperatures still produces mutagenic HCAs mentioned above, which are really, really, really bad for your body. How to reduce risk? Eat raw vegetables. That's going to be the number one way. Raw fruit and vegetables is your number one way. You want to eat a vegetable? Boil it, okay? Steam your rice, steam your broccoli. Pre-cook in the microwave or oven partially. Cooking meat in microwave, that just sounds ridiculous. Pre-cook, this is what it's telling you though. These are your options if you like to eat meat. Partially cooking meat in the microwave or oven before finishing it in a pan reduces the amount of time it spends exposed to high heat frying. Avoid reused oil, which is, I mean, I don't know. Have you ever been to a restaurant? They reuse oil for weeks. Deep frying in oils that have been repeatedly reheated poses its own carcinogenic risks. That would fall into the category of, up here we looked at the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons that bond and bind to food through smoke vapor. So you get, when you know, you know. I can't help everybody, only the NPCs that want to become PCs, right? If you're a non-player character, it means you have a very low IQ, you have a lot of problems with your health, and you can't figure out what's really going on. The problem is you never actually cared, right? The problem is you actually don't care. If you ever see somebody that will, go and eat food rather than deal with the problem, that's called an emotional eater, right? So that shows you have very low IQ, right? Emotional eaters don't understand that what you're doing is harming your body, and then you want to fix it, right? But you still go back and eat the same foods you ate that got you fat in the first place, right? That gave you cancer in the first place, right? So think about what you do and how your body works, right? Now, for over half my life, I ate meat. Now, not by choice. I was a young kid. That was the food group provided to me. I also ate a ton of vegetables. So, and I also learned to like vegetables flavor, right? Properly cooked vegetables taste amazing. Mushrooms, broccoli, if cooked properly, taste amazing. Um, so some people are like, yeah, but it's so expensive to eat plants and to eat that. No, it isn't. You've done very little shopping and you don't understand math. The meat in this city that I live in is 2 to 3 times more expensive per meal than if you were to buy. If you can find discounted vegetables or fruit, that's awesome. If you can't, you're definitely you're not looking hard enough and you don't care enough. You'd rather sit on the couch for 4 hours than go shopping for 4 hours to supply yourself with food for the week, so you can suck on that dirty old fart I just laid. But yeah, I'm a legend, right? So you want to look like me when you're almost 50? You want to be able to run and lift weight above what you can lift? The only way to do that is to eat healthy. The only way you can do squats and do push-ups and run and jog is if you eat healthy. Great if you exercise all day, but you can still be fat because of what you're eating. So it's a combination of factors that, applied properly, will keep you healthy far into your later years in life. Yeah, it's all good for anybody who likes to do that, but just don't think that you're some superior being when you eat meat. And I mean, there's higher protein in vegetables if you pick the right legumes, nuts, and vegetables. You're not going to be able to eat 200 grams of protein every single day without having a heart attack by the time you're 35. So I love people that think they know everything, but it doesn't mean what you're doing is right. It just means you're probably highly uneducated, probably brought up in a family that ate consistently fried beef on the stove and told this is high protein, you're eating meat. Or you go to Subway and you eat cold cuts, which is highly processed meat, highly processed. That's the worst you can do for your heart. So think about what you say and then go look at the facts, right? Say something and then record it so that you can ask the Googles or a dietitian. If you don't believe what the Google's saying, go ask a dietitian, which they get their information from fucking Google. Like Google pulls its information from books that are read by dietitians, right? This isn't a game show where is it lying or isn't it? These are all facts, right? A lot of people don't realize how unhealthy they are until they're very, very unhealthy and they can't move or they have these heart conditions or whatever else. It's kind of, at that point, it's kind of too late. How are you supposed to reverse the effect with exercise if you can't exercise for more than 5 minutes without your heart rate going over the roof? So controlling your blood pressure is great, but having low cholesterol in your diet, low sugar, and low carbs will be how you correct your body. Now that takes years. Now think about how long you ate unhealthy. To unravel that mess you put in takes years to unravel. You're not gonna, there's no super drug that you can take and it's like, oh, I lost 400 pounds in 3 days. There are people on YouTube that I wish they weren't so overweight. Like they're good people, but they're extremely overweight and they're battling their weight. It's not even they're battling for their life. They're battling against the weight on their body. There's a gentleman who has a big following on YouTube, but he eats unhealthy. He sits there and eats chips and bags of beef jerky. All this stuff is highly processed. He goes to Subway, he's getting subs, he's doing shots for dollars on YouTube, and he blazes consistently. These are all great ways to really ruin your life. And he's younger than I am. The guy is like 36 or 37, and he's 600 pounds. I weigh $180, maybe around there. I weigh 180 pounds, maybe a little bit less, but I weigh $180. So you got to choose wisely what you put in your, and don't claim to be this health nut and passing false information on to your friends and family. That's just, I mean, it doesn't get any lower IQ than that. Telling somebody a Subway cold cut sandwich is healthy and you need to eat this for protein is super low IQ. The fucking bread in a Subway sandwich is made from a yoga mat. But how come you don't have any YouTube videos of what you look like? Go on, make a YouTube video and show me what you look like. If you're, how old are you? You're over 35 and I mostly only ate meat all my life. I just finished saying that things that you do now will affect you later on and you won't be able to reverse it. So when you are 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, let's have that talk then. I had already corrected my behavior of my habits of eating at 26. Actually, I did it even younger. I corrected all of that when I was like, I think 17, 18, 19. As soon as I started cooking for myself, I ensured that every morning I woke up, I had hemp seeds, hemp oil. That was just to start my day. I had multivitamin. I took protein shakes, not all the time, but 1 or 2 a day, depending on what I was doing. But I started doing that at 16, 17, and 18. In 1990s, mid-90s, I started eating healthy. So it's great if you think that what you're doing is healthy, but I stopped eating steak for about 4 years, and then I ate some steaks after, and I actually didn't like the way they were making me feel, so I cut the steak out, and I never had chest pain again. So there's definitely a correlation there. But yeah, there's a lot of people that will say the different, or it's an AI bot that works for name a meat company in Tyson Meats or Maple Leaf in Canada. These things are real, right? There are AI bots on all platforms that it's advertising, right? Like if you don't know how this system works, when you say something, it brings in that type of advertiser to your channel, right? So these talk, and I'm doing a cooking show, right? So of course the bots will show up to this. You also could just be a bot from life, like you're a NPC. So there's AI and then there's NPCs. Both of them are not actually real characters. You're a figment of your own imagination created by a system that was indoctrined a long time ago. That's exactly how it's put. Look at the Canadian health food nutritional menu. In the 80s, it told you could eat meat with every meal. Look at it in the 90s, look at it in the 2000s, and then look at it in 2020. Their recommended portion of meat is so small if it's even allowed. So it shows that you have a low IQ to say that, oh, it's not true, I eat meat all the time. That's great for you. I bet you've never ran a mile in your life. I guarantee it, because if you did, you'd see the repercussions of eating all that meat. I could outlift you, I could outrun you, and I could definitely lay you down and put you to sleep in seconds. That means right there, you're not as fit as you think you are. When you look at what a man's purpose is, right? Men are ultimate fighters. Men are wrestlers. Men are bodybuilders. Women are great at singing, dancing. Sure, there's some strong women, but there isn't as many. Okay? Men, that's their objective in life, is to be strong, healthy, fit. You look around society nowadays, how it's been dumbed down and indoctrinated society, put forth to become lazier, weaker, and less, so that there is no heroes. There's no defenders of women. Look it up. Think about it. Go into your community and count in Home Depot or Superstore or wherever you live. Count how many men you see that don't have a size 32 or size 34 waistline. Anything over that, you will have heart disease. Listen, I know all there is to know about dieting and exercise, and I definitely can tell you a lot more that even a dietitian wouldn't understand. Maybe they would agree with, but they wouldn't be the first to spout it to you. But I've done the research. Are you bald? Are you bald in the front of your head? You have heart disease. At a young age, you guarantee you have heart disease. Now, these are the facts. One thing an NPC hates is being told the truth. They get so angry when they're told the truth, and that's the first sign of a low IQ person. If you're in a science class and the teacher's telling you all this, do you freak out, start slamming your fist on the table and freak out? No. And if you do, again, fucking low IQ, you're kicked out of the class and you stay dumb forever. You know what I mean? So the facts are in that smart people control their emotions, right? Men have a harder time. We are built differently than women. Great for women to say they're better than men and oh, so much better. That's not the case. It's that we're built differently. Men could start saying how slow and weak and useless in job sites women are, but that's not allowed because indoctrination tells you that Karen is always right now. And you don't have to look very far to understand what I just said. Just trust me. Look liberal side and then look at Karens and how pathetic Karens are. Karens are the first people to reach for the phone and call the cops when there's trouble. When in reality, you're supposed to deal, like, what if cops didn't exist? Karens wouldn't either. This is what you're missing. The only way men exist is if men stay strong. Men can defend their family and themselves. For each day they walk the streets, so they do stuff at Home Depot or Walmart parking lots, wherever you are. Running isn't always the best option. I will say firsthand that running is a great option. I'm very fast, and I check my people that are going to mess with me. If I feel like you're scrawny and you're mouthy and lippy and maybe you are tough, but you're wasted and you just want to beat someone up because you're evil, then I have to stand toe to toe with you because, well, you might be able to outrun me and trip me while I'm running back and from behind. Then I'm kind of screwed. You jump on me at that point, right? Like, I mean, I don't know if you ever. I've seen and done every trick there is in the book to the dirtiest of dudes. So, and I've had every angle of punch thrown at me, every angle of kick thrown at me twice in the last 20 years, maybe 30. We'll have to say 30 years. Every angle. I'm a big dude. I'm not a massive dude, but I'm a big enough dude that I can drop the biggest dudes in any Home Depot you ever saw. Period. But I highly doubt DNN with no name, no gamer tag, no at symbol. You're either a bot, like I said, you're a bot that works for the meat industry, or you're an NPC that believes they're right with a tiny, minuscule IQ, very low IQ. You can choose which one of those you are, but when you look up the facts and you literally check me, go on my streams and check and see what my body stats, my features. I do not possess roly-poly body features and I don't look like a lump of shit that can't run, can't bench, can't do nothing. Take a look at yourself in the mirror. Take your shirt off, go look at yourself in the mirror sideways, and ask yourself if you feel like you're as strong or tough as I am. You're going to come up short every time. And I've seen people that ate meat and stopped, and I know they got healthier, but their willpower was low. So that falls on low IQ. Anyone that can change their lifestyle, stop eating meat because they recognize it's hurting them, has a very high IQ. Anyone else in between that does it and just does it for a while, they have a low IQ. And do you know what low IQ gets you? Morbidly obese. Look it up. There is only one answer to why you are the way you are if you're morbidly obese. It's because, number one, you don't care, and not caring is exactly low IQ. You see, when you understand what the words mean and how you cast them, you don't care about your health, is what you're saying. You don't care about your fitness. You don't care about your strength level. You don't care that you can't run. You don't care that you can't walk. You don't care that you can't do sit-ups. That's actually what you're saying. So it's awesome when you see people that think they know everything when you come on my show with no videos, no pictures of yourself, and you talk a big talk. That's a fucking troll. You want to come to this channel and be like, oh, no, I'm super healthy. Here's my blood pressure. You go run a blood pressure machine and you say, oh, perfect. I'm perfect. That's great for you. What's your age? How old are you? Because that's a huge factor in later years of life, how your blood pressure reacts to, certain things. You can't check your cholesterol level. You can't check those things. You have to go to a doctor and get stuff, pulled to see what you're actually, what are you, shape are you in, right? I don't have to because I don't have any problems. So you only go to the doctor when there's something wrong. Do you go to the mechanic with your vehicle that it drives down the highway, it goes the perfect speed, doesn't make squeaking sounds? Do you take your vehicle and get it a full inspection done on your vehicle for $500 or $1,000? Or do you not? So it's quite obvious that people who have problems are riddling the doctor's offices with their space, and they take up the doctor's time. And there's only 6 doctors in a hospital, but you go to the doctor's office 16 times a month. But you think you're healthy. That's low IQ. And there is no other way to, everything works down and breaks down to information. Information inputted, gathered, and deciphered correctly. Data. If you have the data and you still say, I don't care, you have a low IQ. I just gave you the facts in the beginning of this video that stated the carcinogenic effects of meat and highly processed meats. And I know there's a bunch of people in the chat, you're literally cross-eyed right now with your triple chins bouncing off the mic, screaming, and you can't even talk. You're typing as fast as you can to say, this isn't true, that's not true. You have to use a pencil, your fingers are so fat to type. Get out of here. You don't belong in this chat. And I leave that there. I used to block and permanently ban people that would even spout nonsense in the chat. But now, people have the facts. Now, you can use me as a prime example of someone who for 20 years hasn't touched a fucking single slice of meat. And I'm healthy. So, great. And also we should mention this. Your body is genetically modified. We'll leave it like that. In respect of, cancer lives in everybody's body. It's benign till it's malignant. Okay. Now I know there's so many of you have no clue what I just said. That's basic shit I learned in grade 4 or 5. Basic shit. That's super basic. people have what's called systemic. So this goes down the road of really high up there. I can explain what your parents have, breast cancer or brain tumors or something like that. It's horrible. It's very sad. You also are prone to having these diseases because of your parents, not only because your parents got them, but because your parents eat. It's their environment that stresses the body and brings out these benign to malignant tumors. So when you stress out your body with, let's say your parents don't take you to play soccer. Let's say your parents love watching TV with you all the time. You grow up a couch potato, right? You grow up sitting in front of a computer. Whatever it is that you could read books all the time and be unhealthy. You know what I mean? But whatever it is that your parents did, you often will replicate. Smoking cigarettes is a great example of in a home, 90% of the children whose parents grew up smoking think it's okay to smoke because their mom or dad that they idolize, because they have very few people in contact with who are good. That's how it works. 90% of the time, you mimic your parents' behaviors. Okay? So my mom smoked at I think 30 or something like that, 33, 34, and I begged her to stop. She eventually stopped at maybe 34, 35, or 36. I had to crush my mom's smokes, throw them out. I hid my mom's smokes all the time, and I got in a lot. I used to get grounded, and I used to get in wicked trouble when I was a kid. My mom never actually said sorry to me for all that. Never. And it's not a big deal. Well, it is. I saved my mom's life, but I got nothing but hell for it. So I knew I was doing right, and it didn't matter that I went without supper. It didn't matter all the different punishments that I had. I still am glad that I helped my mom stay alive. So you can choose, and I all of my best friends smoked, and with me and teaching them how to stop. Gum, not monkey see monkey do, and then there's another one, out of sight out of mind. Don't have your smoke pack on the table, don't have your lighter on the table, and mother, don't have an ashtray full of butts on your table that makes you think about, oh geez, I need to smoke. When you take away those things, and I remember, I'm a fucking genius. I taught at least 10 or 15 people, 20 people, how to stop smoking cigarettes, which is highly, highly addictive, while I was a teenager. I still did it for a few others after in my later years at like 23, 24, 25, 26, maybe 27. But at this point, I mean, I'll teach the masses. I'll make videos on how to stop smoking and give all these beautiful tips because I believe it's very important that we have a healthy society. I believe that it's very important that if you need help from someone, they're able to help you for the duration of that you need help for, so they're not sitting down or wasting your time. They can't move because they can't breathe, right? So all these things play, and you will have a massive heart attack if you smoke cigarettes. Like, how dumb are people nowadays? This is going to do it for this episode. I cook the meanest breakfast on YouTube. How is processed meat even considered meat? Well, that's a great question. So it's interesting that you say that, right? So processed meat it starts out as a single source from an animal that is alive. Number one. Processed means the process it endures to get to the packaging. So you have a low IQ, I'll explain it to you, DNN. Ham is actually pig. Now, when you take pig and you kill the pig and then you chop it up in pieces, you don't get that piece like fresh off the thing. That has to sit in packaging for 6 to 8 weeks. Then it makes it to the store, and then the store has 2 weeks to sell it to you before it expires, or 4 weeks with this shitty salted processed meat. They use things in processed meat such as salt. I actually don't even know what they use anymore. I used to know all the things. Let me look up what they put in processed meat to make it the term processed. It's also how they package it and how they cut it up. But let me look, because you asked a question. I'm going to fully answer your question with a high IQ answer. Can you please tell me how processed meat starts from a pig and ends up processed in Safeway or Superstore or Costco grocery shelves. And again, I'm just going to say this once more because I understand how low IQ people are. You have a hard time listening, right? That's actually the number one trait of low IQ is you don't understand. You may have been in a car accident and can't remember stuff correctly, like it doesn't sink in, but that's your synapses not firing on all cylinders because of trauma to your brain. That's a totally different. Depends if you got hit on the left side or the right side of your brain. But that's a fucking other story. Processed pork starts on a farm. His name is Wilbur. It's a little piggy. He grows up. He may eat such shitty foods on a farm that's poor farm that it's unhealthy out of the gate, regardless if it's processed or not. Industrial facility for slaughter and butchery and gets transformed through curing, grinding, or smoking processes. So right there's carcinogens. The curing process means you're curing with salts, high levels of sodium. But I'll continue because, like I said, low IQ is not going to understand everything. Farming and growth, breeding and birth. Pigs are bred for specific traits, growth and meat quality. So GMO'd meats, genetically modified organisms, are real. They could be eating genetically modified vegetables. So you're eating GMOs 3 times over. Now I'll give you a quick example of this process. I'll take out pigs and I'll put fish. So do you know that fish have high levels of mercury in them? Depending on what size fish you eat, some fish have way higher levels than others. Do you know how that system works? Starts out as a minnow, a tadpole. It eats the algae that's fucking poisonous in the water with mercury and all these other substances that are leached into the waterways. And then from there, that little minnow gets eaten by a small little pickerel or saugerfish, a baby. Now that baby fish needs to eat 60 to 80 fucking minnows a day. Okay? So it's eating straight mercury all day, every day. But this is, again, you have low IQ. Let me explain it further. That little baby fish gets eaten by a big jackfish, by a big sunfish, by any fish. Pickerel will eat their own. So will saugers. So those baby fish are eaten by large mama and papa fish. 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old fish. If again, you're not going to be able to keep up with me. I grew up in many different industries that most people still can't fathom how it works. Not to mention, I know the fucking highest level of science on their diets. So a dietitian for humans, fish, pigs, you can call me that, but especially for plants. My mastery is in human dietitian and plant dietitian. In between those two, you can gather all the info you need to understand that pigs trapped in a cage are only fed feed that the farmer gives them. Cows only grow up on land that the farmer puts them on. Do you understand what I said? Probably not. Use Miracle-Gro to grow your grass. You've completely kiboshed your feed system. The harvest and primary butchery, slaughter and deherring. Pigs are transported to a processing plant like Maple Leaf, stunned humanely. I don't know how you can stun something and kill it humanely. That's a oxymoron to its fucking core. And the carcass is scalded and singed to remove hair. So you've already started out with carcinogenic effects on the outside of the pigskin. Evisceration and chilling. The carcass is gutted, split in half, and rapidly chilled for 24 to 48 hours. Secure food safety and prepare the meat for cutting. But here's the thing. What if the chiller breaks down? What if you have lazy people that have 200, and it's a small group of people that have 200 cows or pigs to slaughter in 24 to 48 hours, but they have to sleep, right? So you're telling me that they did it in 3 or 4 days? That's over the limit that you should have taken it. That's why there's recalls on meat all the time. Don't even talk about it. Most people are eating stuff right now in their fridge that should have been a recall. But you're too stupid to do it, to go take it back because you think you have diarrhea just from whatever, because you're not feeling well. No, you ate pork 3 days in a row, loser. Size reduction and separation. Butchers and automated robotic arms break the carcasses into large primal cuts. loins, shoulders, ribs, and bellies. Those things then go on to butchers at and are sold off to butchers at Costco and all these other places, Safeway. The butcher gets it in your butcher shop. They get pieces of carcasses, okay? Now, this isn't rocket scientist. I grew up with highly skilled butchers when I was 19, and I knew them till 25 or so. Highly skilled. Like they run their own meat shops and they were making hundreds of thousands of dollars, okay? You're not on my level. The hind legs are trimmed, brined, and sometimes smoked or cooked. So all those different things I just said are carcinogenic. That's before you get it home and cook it, bud. Vacuum sealing products are sent through automated lines that slice, stack, and vacuum seal the meat in heavy-duty plastic bags to remove oxygen. So there, do you know what BPAs are? You're filled with plastic particles just because of the processing that goes into packing the meat. Labeling and packages are labeled with tracking IDs, nutritional information, which there's very little of. They should actually come with warning labels saying this is carcinogenic. I don't know why Health Canada doesn't do that. Probably because they're being paid a lot of money by lobbyists to keep that out of the news and out of our system, right? They only put it on cigarettes because of people like Aaron Brockovich and other people who stuck up for the industry, who stuck up for people instead of the industry and took the buyout. They're not sellouts. Not all people are sellouts. That's one thing that I think most people don't understand. Your meat is free range. That's awesome. But do you know what leaching is? The ground that they eat off of, uh, particulates, heavy metals, and everything in between leach into the soil that the ground produces the free range grass and weeds and everything else those things are eating. But here, let's not stop there. Do you know what fucking rain is? Oh, you're using UV filtered water from a system like I do for my plants? No, what you're doing is you're letting fucking rainwater fall from the sky, which is highly polluted with chemicals and plain dust and juice and everything else in between, exhaust from all the trucks and semi trucks and cars and boats and dirt bikes and quads and motorcycles that are on the planet. That goes into the what's known as the LEO, the lower Earth atmosphere. I don't know what O stands for right now. I'm going through so many different things. But then it rains. Numbnuts. So you think your free range is good? Anyone who's a grower knows you have to have a greenhouse in order to have proper food or proper grass to feed those animals. But again, with such a low IQ, I didn't expect you to know that or understand the processes that were involved in farming, bud. Please stop. You're not going to beat me, bud. This happens. The last time this happened, I beat somebody that thought they knew everything about the beginning of life. And I said, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? And then I went back to dinosaur poo. And by the time I was done, they were saying, you know what? I've been fed wrong information my whole life by schools and individuals who are sellouts. Period. Indoctrinating society only works if you accept the bullshit and the lies. When you can clearly listen with an open heart and an open mind without getting angry about what somebody's saying, you can have true facts. But again, I expect people to not rebuttal and speak over me when I'm explaining, because how the fuck are you supposed to take it in if you're busy typing all the time? It's fucking hilarious. People with low IQ have to sit very still, close their mind, and try and listen. I say try because it's hard for low IQ to do anything for more than 4 or 5 seconds. You're a guppy. I guarantee you watch short videos all day with people who eat tons of meat and they claim that they're super healthy. And really they're on steroids instead of actually doing the work properly over the years. But again, you don't have to look very far to hear that the guy got called out and he actually got sued by companies because he wasn't actually eating raw meat all the time. He was on fucking roids. Would you like to know more about the difference in how these meats are packaged for bulk wholesale like Costco versus regular retail like Superstore? Are you interested in how bacon specifically is cured and smoked? No. I want to know what the highly most processed foods in Canada and the USA are, and also the most carcinogenic meats possible. I'm only looking for meat groups, sandwich meat, all that stuff. So it's interesting. Like I said, you're a troll, and here's the proof. Blah. You typed under DNN, you typed blah. Do you think this guy is disrespectful? And then you brought in your other account that is actually at blah, and it says blah, blah, blah. Let's put you in a permanent timeout. Let's put you, because the last thing I'll ever do is hang out with people with such a low IQ that are completely morbidly obese and the fat is just seeped to your head. Juliana G. Parcero. Yo, that looks good. Thank you, Juliana. Odin. Hey. You know who I am, right? I'm Thor. That looks so good. Thank you, man. Maudie. Hi. Samantha Yoria. Oh, yum. Nice positive comments. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm gonna go eat this food and then I got stuff to do. Like I actually do stuff, right? Like this is great for people who sit on the fucking YouTube all weekend and sit in your comment section and pick on other people. That is not my life. I actually own my own home. I do a lot of work on my own home, and I have no time for losers, right? I'm only looking up how-to videos today, and there'll be no glamorizing, no doing anything besides teaching other people how to make your house more awesome, how to save money in your house. Well, this dude lives with his fucking mom, his grandma, his grandpa, his dad. You live with somebody for sure, bud. It's obvious. 35 and living at home. Ha, fuck, are you cool, bud? I can only imagine how virgin you actually are. You know what I mean? Never kissed a girl. And that's probably why you're so sad and depressed. Because you exude depression, by the way. Like you're exuding depression. You stink of depression, bud. Hilarious. There's a lot of people on the internet that are cool. There is way more that are just total goofs, low IQ. That's why I'm very specific with who I talk to in the chat. I didn't let you run the show, but I did let you speak, which was my downfall. I should have just continued, but I'm glad because I was able to teach other people who watch this, hundreds of people who watch this video today alone. But it's going to be hilarious when they watch the whole thing and they're like, Hash, totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. Like, people don't even have to say it. They watch and tune in for the laughs the low IQers bring to the chat. That's how I can be real. I wish that somebody else made these videos and then I could watch and learn from them. There is no one else doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And this just screams NPCs to the fucking roof. Right to the roof. Also, sellouts. Sellouts are people who will take money knowingly promoting an energy drink that they can't drink anymore because they have a heart condition. Such as in Goober, there's two Goobers. There's Penguins. He used to do that big time. I think he's got 1 million or 2 or 3 million subscribers. So many people promoted energy drinks that cause heart attacks. High levels of caffeine for your body twice a day for a year straight, you will have heart attacks later in life or that year. Do you understand what caffeine is a question I'll leave you guys with. Do you actually know what caffeine is? Do you actually know how many milligrams of caffeine are in a cup of coffee that you have at home right now? Have you checked all your brands to say, oh, this is decaf? Well, why the fuck are you even drinking coffee if you're drinking decaffeinated coffee? There's green tea, there's fucking dandelion tea, there's blueberry tea, there's fucking... Go pick some leaves off any tree and put them in a cup. That is way healthier than anything you're going to get from the grocery store. Being simple-minded leads you down a simple life, right? So there was what was the blondes had that low IQ show there with Paris Hilton. What was it? The Simple People or something? It was fucking hilarious, but I love laughing at... Call me evil, call me mean. I love laughing at stupid people. I don't know what it is. I can't believe how stupid rich people are, though. But let's look this up. What was the name of Paris Hilton's show with that other completely dumb blonde back in the day in 2007 or something like that? Oh, fuck, it's having a hard time finding this. Hello? Oh, it was called The Simple Life. It ran from 2003 to 2007. Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie, the two idiots, obviously aren't the representatives of what. Let's see what they were. This is actually from like a main. This is from. This is the biography from IMDb. This is hilarious. Where does it say that? It says here. Then there is the show's biggest lumbering dinosaur of a problem. Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie, these two idiots obviously aren't the representative of what. But I can't find that comment. But yeah, I thought it was hilarious. They grew up on, or they went and lived on a farm, right? And they called it the simple life, right? But what I guarantee you, what it taught them was not to eat meat and stuff because they saw the people that raised it. They saw how healthy they were. A lot of farmers are extremely, extremely overweight. Men, extremely overweight. And when you look at, not all farmers, most. Why are most farmers really fat? Bald and have glasses, like Coke bottle glasses. So it says farmers often struggle with their weight due to a combination of heavy traditional diets, increasingly mechanized work. So they don't do the plowing themselves. They aren't out there walking. They sit all day in a combine for 12 hours and they eat big portions of meat all day, right? High calorie dietary habits. According to community insights on Reddit, there is a consensus that farmers traditionally rely on high calorie rich meals. These diets are often heavy in grains, starches, and fats. Due to grueling work, I don't believe it's grueling work. We're just going to stop. You guys have a wonderful day. I'm your host with the absolute most. Hash to the info. Remember what my name is. Hash info.